The cramped passenger compartment of the Zephyr's Promise hummed with the familiar vibrations of quantum drive engines. Riza adjusted her position in seat 14J, trying to find comfort among the 30 other passengers aboard the luxury cruiser bound for the Kepler station. The human mechanic had saved for 3 years to afford this passage, finally taking her first vacation since joining the Galactic Maintenance Guild. Across the narrow aisle, Anna watched the stars blur past the viewport with childlike wonder. The young Altarian navigator had never seen hyperspace from a passenger's perspective, always being stationed on the bridge during jumps. Her crystalline blue skin shimmered with excitement as she turned to strike up conversation with fellow travelers. "First time on a pleasure cruise?" Anna asked Riza, her melodic voice carrying the distinctive harmonic overtones of her species. Riza nodded, running her calloused hands through her short brown hair. 20 years fixing ships, never riding in one for fun. She gestured to her worn work boots and faded jumpsuit. Probably stick out like a sore thumb among all these fancy folks. The two women chatted easily as the hours passed. Anna shared stories of navigating through asteroid fields and mapping uncharted systems, while Riza recounted tales of jury-rigging impossible repairs, with nothing but spare parts and determination. Despite their different backgrounds, they found common ground in their love of the void between stars. Their pleasant journey took a dramatic turn when the ship's intercom crackled to life with Captain Vexutar's distinctive Jeltani accent. "Attention passengers, we are experiencing minor technical difficulties with our primary stabilizers. Please remain in your seats while our crew investigates." The subtle vibrations that had been so comforting moments before now carried an ominous irregularity. Riza's trained ear immediately identified the problem. The quantum drive coupling was becoming desynchronized. If left unchecked, it could tear the ship apart in hyperspace. Minutes turned into an hour, and the vibrations grew worse. Panicked murmurs spread through the passenger compartment as the lights flickered intermittently. Through the viewport, the stars began to stretch and distort in ways that defied the normal patterns of hyperspace travel. "We're in trouble," Riza muttered, unbuckling her safety harness despite the captain's orders. "Where are you going?" Anna whispered urgently. "To fix whatever's broken before we all become space dust." Riza made her way forward, pushing through the increasingly agitated crowd of passengers. The ship's steward, a tall Centaurian with 4 arms, tried to block her path. "Ma'am, you must return to your seat immediately," he insisted, his feathers ruffling with authority. "Listen here, friend," Riza said firmly. "I'm a Class A mechanic with the GMG, and this ship is about to shake itself apart. You can either let me through or explain to your insurance company why you stopped someone qualified from preventing a disaster." The steward hesitated, then stepped aside when another violent shudder ran through the ship's hull. The bridge was chaos when Riza arrived. Captain Vextar and his crew were frantically working at their stations, their reptilian features tense with concentration. The ship's chief engineer, a squat Proximan, was pulling cables from panels with 6 different appendages while cursing in 3 languages. "Captain!" Riza called out over the noise. "Human mechanic GMG certification. What's your situation?" Vextar looked up with desperate hope in his large yellow eyes. "Quantum coupling malfunction. We cannot resynchronize the drive matrix. Chief Engineer Gloop says we have maybe 10 minutes before catastrophic failure. May I?" Riza didn't wait for permission before sliding under the main console. Her practiced hands traced the familiar pathways of quantum conduits and stabilizer arrays. Within seconds, she identified the problem: a cascade failure in the primary harmonic regulator, probably caused by substandard replacement parts installed at the last maintenance cycle. "I need a phase inverter, 2 quantum stabilizer rods, and something to use as a conductor," she called out from beneath the console. "We don't have those parts," Gloop replied miserably. Riza emerged, her face streaked with coolant fluid but her expression determined. "Then we improvise. Get me your emergency beacon, 3 power coupling from the galley replicators, and that decorative metal sculpture from the captain's quarters." As the crew scrambled to gather the unlikely components, Riza worked with the fluid efficiency of someone who had performed miracles with inadequate resources countless times before. She stripped circuits, rewired connections, and fashioned a makeshift harmonic regulator that had no business working according to any engineering manual in known space. "This is insane," Gloop muttered, watching her work. "No organic should be able to calculate those harmonics without a computer." Humans don't always need computers, Riza grunted, making final adjustments. Sometimes we just know. She initiated the repair sequence and the terrible shuddering immediately began to subside. The quantum drive hummed back into its proper rhythm, and the stars outside returned to their normal hyperspace configuration. A collective sigh of relief filled the bridge as Captain Vextar ran diagnostics. All systems nominal, he announced. Drive coupling stable. Outstanding work, mechanic. Riza Chen, GMG registration number 7749 Delta. The captain's expression suddenly changed from gratitude to something approaching awe. He quickly input the registration number into his database, and his large eyes grew even wider as he read the results. Riza Chen, also known as Miracle Worker, he read aloud. Credited with saving the mining station Prometheus 7 from core breach using nothing but spare kitchen appliances and mining equipment. Single-handedly restored life support to the research vessel Darwin's Dream after meteor impact, keeping 43 scientists alive for 2 weeks until rescue arrived. Jury-rigged FTL communications for the colony ship New Horizon when they were stranded in the Vega system. The entire bridge crew had gone silent, staring at the unassuming human woman who had just saved their lives with spare parts and ingenuity. "You're the miracle worker," whispered the navigation officer. "We studied your repairs at the academy. They said what you did was impossible." Riza shrugged, wiping her hands on her jumpsuit. "Nothing's impossible. Sometimes you just have to be creative and not give up." Word spread quickly through the ship. Passengers who had barely noticed the quiet mechanic in seat 14J now looked at her with new respect. Anna found her in the observation lounge, staring out at the stars with a slight smile. "So," Anna said, settling beside her new friend. "Just a simple mechanic, huh?" Riza chuckled. "Honest work is honest work, no matter how fancy folks make it sound. The crew wants to upgrade you to first class for the rest of the journey. 14J was fine before. It's fine now." Riza paused, then added with a grin, "Though I wouldn't say no to a decent cup of coffee." As the Zephyr's Promise continued safely toward Kepler Station, stories of the human mechanic's miraculous repair spread through subspace communications. Another legend of human ingenuity and determination would be added to the growing collection of tales that made other species shake their heads in wonder. After all, humans didn't need the impossible to be possible. They just needed it to work.